Let's move now to eSwatini for details on the way forward for the troubled kingdom, following an agreement last week by King Mswati III to engage in national dialogue. This after a visit by a delegation from SADC, that's the Southern African Development Community. Now, pro-democracy protests flared in May, but have recently intensified again, with the army cracking down even on protesting school children. I'm joined by Wandile Dludlu, Secretary General of Pudemo, that's the People's United Democratic Movement in eSwatini. Good evening, sir, and thank you for your time. I understand that you have rejected the King's plan to engage in national dialogue. Why is that?
Thank you very much, Sally, for having us here, and good evening to you and to viewers at home. The progressive formations, collectively, Pudemo included, rejects this posture by the King because it clearly indicates playing politics. The King is not at all taking all of us serious. He is simply playing politics and wanting to appear politically correct when the reality is he continues to arrest young children of 9, 10 and 15 years, for which 5 of them recently in Sunday were charged with terrorism. He continued to keep MPs behind bars, butchering and killing of innocent unarmed civilians continues, and on the other end he is saying he's committed to dialogue.
So you doubt his sincerity, bearing in mind what you say is happening on the ground. What are you calling for then, and what is your plan going forward now?
We basically call for the region to intervene in a much more decisive manner. We think that this is a war being waged by the King on the citizens for merely raising core 5 demands: the unbanning of political parties, the inclusive national dialogue, the transitional authority, as well as the drafting of a new and a democratic constitution. This is not too much to ask from the King, but as things are, he is playing politics and selling us a dummy.
All right, so you say that you doubt his sincerity, but one of your demands is to actually have a dialogue. So I'm guessing that the way the King is suggesting a dialogue, because it's all got to start with talking, there must be a problem within that, because surely, you know, it might be a plan to just start talking in the meantime.
Sorry, Sally.
Yeah, you said that,
your question, please?
Yeah, you said you've got 5 core demands, which is unban political parties, a new constitution, and you also spoke about inclusive dialogue. Are you suggesting that the dialogue being suggested by the King currently is not inclusive enough?
Certainly the King is not. He's talking of Sibaya. Sibaya is not conducive venue, just by its own setting in terms of its size, but not just its size, its nature. It's an ancient space where a monarch would summon his subjects, and there is no dialogue there. You are there to listen to the King, not to dialogue. So we think by virtue of just that, it shows exactly that the King is playing politics, which is, again, we're calling for a mediator type of, where
Okay,
credible.
I understand. You're saying that it's almost as if the King is summoning you to him to discuss things, where you're saying it needs to be an equal playing field for negotiation. So talk to me, what is the plan from here on? We know that the SADC delegation was in your country last week. What is Pudemo going to do next?
We're going to intensify. We're going to intensify, Sally. There are more planned actions by trade union movement, civil society. There are more plans to intensify into a border blockade. Very soon we are at an advanced stage of engaging our allies in the region and beyond to intensify. We are putting in place measures to ensure security and self-defense of our communities who cannot continuously be butchered with impunity by His Majesty's security forces, who are nothing in our view but a private militia in the pretext of the police and the soldiers. So this will continue. This will continue, and the agency with which we are treating it, and the entire nation is on board.
Well, thank you very much for chatting to us this evening. That is Wandile Dludlu, Secretary-General of Pudemo. That's the People's United Democratic Movement in eSwatini, and they're saying that they are vowing to intensify their protests and also defend themselves.